Hi, I'm Robert Harrison, Training Director here at NLP Institute of California. Now, in this NLP presupposition, we're going to talk about people work perfectly to produce the results they're getting. And in this presupposition, you're going to learn about the key difference between a therapist and a coach, particularly an NLP coach, the way that we do it. Now, I want to start by saying this, okay? I am 100% for therapy. I do therapy personally. My children do therapy. I am 100% for therapy, but therapy is a different domain. And if I was practicing as a licensed therapist, then when you come in, I would need to diagnose the disease, and then I would need to treat the symptoms until the symptoms went away. If there's no symptoms, there's really nothing that I can even work with, technically, if I'm using that particular model. So as a coach, we use a very different model. We don't assume that there's any dis-ease or any problem at all. We don't assume that you're from the island of misfit toys, you're not broken, and we already assume that you work perfectly. And the way that we look at the kind of quote-quote problem behavior is that people work perfectly to produce the results they're getting. So what that means is that whatever behaviors and ways of thinking you have now, if we look at them without judgment, but look at them like a strategy or a recipe of thinking and perceiving and behaving, then without judgment, we can say this is a perfect strategy and it works perfectly to produce the current set of results that you're getting. So if the current set of results that you're getting is a really depressive feeling at the end of that strategy, then we could say that strategy works perfectly to produce this kind of depressive feeling as a result for you when you use it. And so because of this, what this means is, since we have the assumption that you work perfectly, that you have all the resources that you need, and that whatever strategy you use will produce a certain set of results, we then have this ability to play with the strategy and tweak it until we get a different set of results. So if the affect and the feeling you want to have at the end of that strategy is to feel more uplifted and more hopeful, then we could adjust that strategy until we produce that set of results. And if you talk to yourself differently, say different things, and ask better questions, you'll likely do that. It also might help if you look up a little bit, and those of you who know NLP will know exactly what I'm talking about. So when you come in to, let's say, my virtual office, or you work with one of our staff members or coaches doing NLP work, when you are telling us about your quote-quote problem, what we're really doing, what I'm doing, is I'm doing a skill assessment. I know that it requires certain skills to have certain problems. For example, if you have like a depressing thought, if you say, hey, I'm really depressed, I'm feeling down, I have these depressing thoughts all the time, what that lets me know as a coach is that you have a very convincing internal dialogue. This means you are excellent at talking to yourself and convincing yourself of an alternate reality, so much so that you can physically feel it in your body. Now that is an impressive ability. And imagine what it would feel like and what it could produce if we put good content in that same strategy. We just look at it like a strategy without judgment. We go, wow, this person's really good at convincing themselves that an alternate reality is true by getting them to really focus on certain aspects of it, the way they talk to themselves. Well, let's try putting some good content in there and have them convince themselves that they can reach their goal, that they can have better communication with those that they love, or that they can actually control their eating habits, for example. Okay? So if you come in and you say, my gosh, Robert, I've got panic and I get panic attacks a lot, then that lets me know that you're excellent at making images and movies in your mind. Because to get panicked and to get shocked, you have to be visually in your mind making an image or a movie that is very real and compelling. So again, that lets me know that this person is very good visually at creating an alternative reality in their mind and making it so vivid and real that it feels like it's really happening. Well, imagine what would be possible then if we have this person imagine a positive outcome with that intensity, or we have them imagine a meaningful goal with that same level of intensity. And so Where some people might be looking at problems or challenges, really another way to look at it from an NLP point of view is it's a skill assessment, because every behavior from an NLP point of view is useful in some context, and we already have all the resources that we need. We've had times when we felt very confident, times when we felt strong, times when we felt quietly focused. We've had times when we've been in different resource states, so we can always go back and access and remember what that felt like. And if we haven't been in one, we can observe someone else in one of those resourceful states and begin to model them and try on what it would be like to be them, and use that to try on an alternate reality. So with NLP, there's lots and lots of choices, but for now, let's always start with the attitude that you work perfectly right now to produce whatever results you're getting right now. So if you want a different set of results, let's just take a look without judgment at what you're doing in terms of your thinking, how you're kind of perceiving and putting things together, and the meaning you're making or the story you're telling yourself, and then the behaviors that follow. And let's take a look at how we can adjust that so that you get more of the results that you want.